So I want to share a very a dream I had on January 3rd, 2020 from the Lord about. So what I was doing was I had a couple dreams about the future of America, and I put a playlist together. And in the playlist is like, here's like 40 different people that had dreams about World War III, and like 60 different people that had dreams about Obama coming back to power, that he was the Antichrist and the earthquakes. And I didn't have all of the specific events that the playlist I was putting together, and I didn't want to share it. I said, I don't want to do this unless I know you want me to. And this is a dream I had in response to praying about whether or not I should be sharing these things. I mean, there are people who I knew, and when you've got like 60 different people and a couple people you know for a fact are hearing from the Lord, but I didn't want to share all these playlists unless I knew. And when you have a dream from the Lord, like, think like what Isaiah saw. I saw the Lord high and lifted up, and the train of the robe filled his temple. Like, when he gives you a dream. You don't just have a dream and I woke up and I laid in bed for like an hour and a half after I had this dream, terrified. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't work all day. Now, if I said he used Uncle Sam to represent America, or if something happened to Uncle Sam in my dream, like he was torn apart, you'd know, that represents America. But in this dream, for some reason, he used Aaron Rodgers. And 2 weeks after I had this dream, Aaron Rodgers came out and denounced Christianity for a bunch of stupid reasons. And I'll link that interview below, because I was shown things about America that I think, when you listen to what he denounced it for, are what most people in this country who won't turn to Christ will say. And I gotta, true things about people that they're not looking at. So the dream started out, we were watching football in the living room, and this huge pile of linemen just came crashing down all of a sudden on Aaron Rodgers. And when the pile, I could see him on the ground, and a foot below his wrist, his arm was missing. And then the next thing I noticed, he was torn into two at the waist. And I could see his headless torso with his missing arm, and his waist ripped in two. And I noticed his severed head laying on the ground. And the announcers, when this happened, and this is when the Holy Spirit let me know that in this dream he represented America, and those things represent events that are going to happen to America. I was given these 3 words to describe America: arrogance. This was from the Holy Spirit: arrogance, debauchery, and a denial of Christ. And that these things are overlooked, kept hidden, and pushed down. That's what the Holy Spirit said to me about America. And the announcers, when these things happened, they couldn't understand why this would happen. And they were, going crazy as to why all this destruction would be allowed to happen. And they wouldn't look at the debauchery, the arrogance, and denial of Christ. But they knew. The Holy Spirit let me know that people know these things, but they're just burying it, and not looking at it, and pushing it down and keeping it hidden. And then I walked out onto, and the announcer's reaction is how I guess like the world is gonna react to it, I guess, when these things happen. And then I walked out onto our porch and I looked up in the sky, and the colors from the sunrise and the clouds came together to form an angel. And the angel did something, and it was like hidden from me what the angel did, or it was above me to know. But then all the colors from the sunrise, the gold, the red, the white, came together with the clouds, and they formed a whole herd of dinosaurs. And it looked more realistic than the best video game or the best movie technology. They had all the scales, wrinkles on their eyelids, their eyes opened, toenails or spikes on them. All the colors, the gold, the red, the white, came together with the clouds to form all these dinosaurs. And then the herd of dinosaur clouds with the colors from the sunrise. And this is as if you looked up in the sky right now and saw this. They picked up their feet, and it's like the whole world could look out and see this happening. They picked up their feet and moved their tails and all walked together in a line across the sky. And this was just completely unfathomable, that the colors of the sunrise and the clouds could come together and form dinosaurs, and then that they could walk across the sky. And I ran inside to get people to show them this, and some of the people wouldn't get out of the chairs. They didn't care. They weren't interested. And then I went out on our porch, and I eventually got some people to come and was explaining it to them. But then when they came, let's see. When they showed up, it wasn't as clear and it wasn't as vivid anymore. They were just the clouds in the sky, and they weren't as detailed. I don't know what that meant, but that was in the dream. And then I was on the porch explaining to people what the signs in the sky meant.